With vehicle prices at all-time highs, finding a crossover that actually delivers on its price tag is harder than ever. These 10 over-engineered haulers justify every cent with rock-solid reliability, low depreciation, and class-leading everyday practicality. Here are 10 SUVs that are worth every penny. Number 10, Kia Sportage. The Kia Sportage is worth every penny because it gives buyers a lot of usable SUV without forcing them into a much higher price bracket. The value isn't just about getting a lower purchase price. The Sportage gives you a practical size, modern powertrains, useful technology, and enough space for everyday family life while keeping the overall package easier to afford than many similarly equipped competitors. One of its strongest points is how much equipment Kia includes for the money. Buyers can get features that would often require spending significantly more with some rival brands, which makes the Sportage feel like a better deal from the moment you drive it home. That matters even more for buyers who plan to keep the vehicle for several years rather than trading it quickly. The Sportage also works well as an everyday vehicle because it doesn't come with the running costs of a large SUV. Fuel consumption is reasonable, tires aren't enormous, and routine services are generally less intimidating than they would be on a bigger three-row model. For commuters and families, those savings add up every year. Another advantage is Kia's warranty coverage for new buyers, which provides additional peace of mind during the early ownership period. Even after that coverage ends, the Sportage has become common enough that independent repair shops and parts suppliers are familiar with it. The Kia Sportage isn't trying to be the most luxurious SUV or the most powerful one. Its strength is giving buyers a balanced package without asking them to spend luxury SUV money. For someone who wants useful space, modern features, manageable ownership costs, and strong overall value, the Sportage delivers far more than its price might suggest. Number 9, Hyundai Tucson. The Hyundai Tucson earns its spot because it gives buyers the kind of equipment and practicality that often costs considerably more from other brands. For someone spending their own money, that matters. The Tucson doesn't require stepping into a higher-priced trim or luxury brand just to get a well-equipped SUV that feels modern and useful every day. A major part of its value is the choice of powertrains. The Tucson is available with gasoline and hybrid options, giving buyers a chance to choose based on their driving habits rather than paying for technology they don't need. The hybrid can be particularly appealing for people who spend a lot of time commuting, where lower fuel consumption can make a noticeable difference over several years. Hyundai's warranty coverage also adds real value to the purchase. Strong factory protection reduces the financial risk during the early years of ownership, which is especially useful for buyers planning to keep the vehicle rather than trade it in quickly. The Tucson is also practical without being excessive. Its size works well for daily city driving, while there's enough room for passengers, groceries, luggage, and longer road trips. That balance can save owners from eventually upgrading to a larger and more expensive SUV simply because their first choice wasn't versatile enough. Then there's the overall ownership equation. A reasonable purchase price, useful technology, available hybrid efficiency, strong warranty coverage, and practical dimensions all contribute to lower total spending over the years. The Hyundai Tucson proves that getting good value doesn't mean settling for a stripped-down vehicle. For buyers who want modern features, useful space, multiple powertrain choices, and strong factory coverage without moving into a much higher price range, the Tucson gives every dollar a clear purpose. Number 8, Lexus NX. The Lexus NX is worth every penny for a different reason than the mainstream SUVs on this list. You're paying more upfront, but you're also getting a luxury SUV that can make sense financially over a much longer ownership period. The NX combines premium quality with the kind of dependability that can prevent luxury ownership from becoming an endless cycle of expensive repairs. One of its strongest advantages is the hybrid option. For buyers who spend a lot of time commuting, the NX Hybrid can deliver excellent fuel efficiency without requiring a switch to a fully electric vehicle. Over several years of ownership, lower fuel consumption can help offset some of the higher initial purchase price. The NX also benefits from Lexus' strong resale values. Luxury vehicles can lose value quickly, but the NX tends to hold its worth better than many premium competitors. That matters because depreciation is often one of the biggest costs of owning a new vehicle, even when the monthly payment makes it difficult to notice. Long-term reliability adds another layer of value. Lexus has a strong history of building vehicles that remain dependable well after the early years of ownership. An NX that stays reliable for a long time can save an owner from replacing the vehicle simply because repair costs have started becoming unpredictable. The service network helps too. Lexus and Toyota have a large presence across the United States, giving owners plenty of options for maintenance and repairs. Parts availability is also much better than with many lower-volume luxury brands. The Lexus NX proves that spending more upfront doesn't automatically mean getting worse value. Strong resale value, available hybrid efficiency, dependable long-term ownership, and genuine luxury make the NX a premium SUV where the higher price can be justified over time. Number 7. Honda Pilot. The Honda Pilot is worth every penny because it solves a problem that many SUV buyers don't think about until after they purchase. How much vehicle do you actually need for the next several years? The Pilot gives families 3 rows of seating, useful cargo capacity, strong road trip ability, and enough space to handle everyday life without stepping up to a much larger full-size SUV. That extra versatility can save money over time. A family that buys a smaller SUV may eventually need more space and end up trading it in for something larger. The Pilot is capable of handling everything from daily commuting to family vacations and weekend activities, reducing the need for that second upgrade. Honda's reputation for dependable mechanical components adds another layer of value. The Pilot has a long history in the American market, and independent repair shops are familiar with its systems. Parts availability is strong, which can help keep long-term service costs more predictable. Fuel consumption is also more reasonable than what you'd face with many full-size 3-row SUVs. You still get substantial passenger and cargo capacity without moving into the fuel demands of a much larger truck-based vehicle. The Pilot also has strong used market demand. Keeping one in good condition can help protect its resale value, giving owners more flexibility when they eventually decide to sell or trade it. For families, value isn't just about the sticker price. It's about avoiding compromises that force you to spend more later. The Honda Pilot delivers 3-row practicality, proven mechanicals, manageable running costs, and strong resale appeal in one package, making the money spent upfront easier to justify over years of ownership. Number 6. Toyota Grand Highlander. The Toyota Grand Highlander earns its place because it gives buyers something that can be surprisingly expensive to get elsewhere. Serious 3-row space without stepping all the way up to a full-size SUV. For families, that difference can save a lot of money because the Grand Highlander provides room for passengers and luggage without requiring the size, fuel consumption, and price of a larger truck-based vehicle. The biggest value advantage is its flexibility. The 3rd row isn't simply there for emergencies. The Grand Highlander was designed around families that actually need to carry people and their belongings at the same time. That means fewer compromises when everyone is in the vehicle and less temptation to upgrade to a much larger SUV later. Powertrain choice also adds value. Buyers can choose between gasoline and hybrid options depending on their priorities. Someone who drives long distances every week can benefit from the hybrid's efficiency, while another buyer may prefer the straightforward nature of a conventional gasoline model. Toyota's reputation also matters when calculating the cost of ownership. The Grand Highlander comes from a brand with extensive experience building high-volume SUVs, and its strong resale demand can help protect the vehicle's value as it ages. Another advantage is the nationwide support network. Parts service centers and independent mechanics are widely available, making routine ownership easier across the country. The Grand Highlander isn't the cheapest SUV on this list, but value isn't always about buying the least expensive vehicle. When one SUV can provide genuine 3-row practicality, strong fuel efficiency options, broad service support, and desirable resale value, the higher purchase price becomes much easier to justify. Number 5. Subaru Forester. The Subaru Forester earns its place because it gives buyers something that can be difficult to find in this price range: genuine everyday versatility without requiring a huge SUV. Its compact size makes it easy to live with in the city, while standard all-wheel drive gives it an advantage when roads get slippery or rough weather arrives. That standard all-wheel drive system is a big part of the value. Buyers don't have to pay extra for a more capable drivetrain just to get added traction, which makes the Forester especially appealing in areas where rain, snow, or unpaved roads are common. The ground clearance also gives owners more freedom to venture beyond ordinary pavement without moving into a much larger vehicle. Fuel economy is another reason the Forester makes financial sense. It doesn't require the fuel consumption of a large three-row SUV, yet it still provides useful passenger and cargo space. For someone keeping the vehicle for several years, those everyday savings can add up. Subaru has also built a strong following among owners who keep their vehicles for a long time. The Forester's practical design means it can handle commuting during the week and weekend activities without needing a second vehicle for different types of use. Resale demand adds to the equation. Foresters remain popular in the used market, particularly when they've been maintained well, giving owners a better chance of recovering a meaningful portion of their original investment later. The Subaru Forester earns its spot by delivering capability where it actually matters: standard all-wheel drive, useful clearance, manageable fuel costs, practical space, and strong long-term appeal. For buyers who want one SUV that can handle a wide range of everyday situations without paying for more vehicle than they need, the Forester gives excellent value. Number 4. Hyundai Palisade. The Hyundai Palisade earns its place because it gives families a lot of SUV without forcing them into the price range of a premium three-row model. The biggest advantage here is passenger space. You get a genuinely useful third row and enough room for family trips, daily errands, and carrying plenty of luggage, which can eliminate the need to move into a much larger and more expensive SUV. The Palisade also makes a strong case through its equipment. Buyers don't have to keep climbing the price ladder just to get the features that make a family vehicle easier to live with. That makes the money spent on the purchase feel more productive instead of being eaten up by expensive optional extras. Another factor is Hyundai's warranty coverage. Strong factory protection gives owners an important layer of financial security during the early years, particularly for buyers who plan to keep the SUV for a long time. That can make the initial ownership period less risky than choosing a vehicle with much shorter coverage. The Palisade's three-row layout also gives it a practical advantage over smaller SUVs. A growing family doesn't necessarily need to replace it simply because they need more seating or cargo room. Having that extra capacity from the beginning can save money by avoiding another vehicle purchase later. Strong used market demand adds to its overall value as well. A well-maintained Palisade remains appealing to used SUV buyers, giving owners a better chance of getting solid money back when they eventually sell. For families, the Hyundai Palisade delivers a useful combination of space, equipment, warranty protection, and long-term practicality. The result is an SUV that gives buyers a lot of usable vehicle for the money without forcing them into a much more expensive class. Number 3. Toyota RAV4. The Toyota RAV4 earns its place because it can save money in ways that aren't always obvious when you're standing at the dealership. The purchase price is only part of the equation. Fuel, maintenance, insurance, depreciation, and resale value can have a much bigger impact over several years, and the RAV4 performs well across those areas. Fuel efficiency is one of its biggest strengths. The hybrid version is especially attractive for drivers who cover a lot of miles, because lower fuel consumption can add up to meaningful savings over years of daily commuting. Instead of paying for a large engine you rarely need, you're getting efficiency that directly affects your monthly expenses. The RAV4 also benefits from Toyota's enormous presence in the United States. Parts are easy to find, technicians know the vehicle well, and owners have plenty of options for routine service. That can keep maintenance more predictable as the SUV gets older. Then there's resale value. RAV4s have consistently been popular in the used market, and strong demand helps protect what owners have invested. A vehicle that holds its value well can cost considerably less to own than one that depreciates heavily, even if the two SUVs have similar purchase prices. Practicality adds another layer. The RAV4 is large enough for everyday family use without becoming cumbersome in city driving or expensive to fuel like a full-size SUV. Strong fuel economy, manageable maintenance, excellent resale demand, and everyday practicality make the Toyota RAV4 one of the easiest SUVs to justify financially. Owners aren't just paying for a vehicle, they're buying something that can remain useful and valuable for years. Number 2. Mazda CX-5. The Mazda CX-5 is worth every penny because it gets the important parts of SUV ownership right without trying to compete on sheer size or excess. Its biggest strength is balance. You get useful passenger and cargo space, a comfortable ride, strong road manners, and a manageable footprint without paying for a vehicle that's larger than most owners actually need. Fuel and maintenance costs also work in its favor. The CX-5 uses a relatively straightforward gasoline powertrain, so owners aren't taking on the added complexity of a plug-in system or an oversized engine simply to get through everyday driving. For someone keeping an SUV for several years, that straightforward approach can make ownership easier to budget. Another reason the CX-5 delivers strong value is how well it drives. Mazda has focused heavily on steering, handling, and road feel, giving the CX-5 a more engaging character than many compact SUVs. That means buyers aren't forced to choose between practicality and an enjoyable driving experience. Its compact dimensions are useful too. Parking is easier, maneuvering through crowded streets takes less effort, and you don't have to deal with the fuel demands of a large three-row SUV. Yet there's still enough room for normal family duties, shopping, luggage, and road trips. The CX-5 also has a solid reputation in the used market. A clean example with a good service history remains attractive to buyers, helping protect its value as it ages. Balanced running costs, useful size, enjoyable driving dynamics, straightforward mechanicals, and strong everyday practicality make the Mazda CX-5 a vehicle where the money spent upfront continues to make sense long after the purchase. Number 1. Honda CR-V. The Honda CR-V takes the top spot because it delivers value in almost every part of ownership without demanding that buyers pay for things they don't really need. It's efficient enough for everyday commuting, spacious enough for family use, easy to live within crowded areas, and practical enough to handle road trips without feeling like a large SUV. Fuel economy is a major part of the equation. The CR-V is designed around efficient everyday driving, and the hybrid version can make even more sense for people who spend a lot of time behind the wheel. Lower fuel consumption becomes a real advantage when you're keeping a vehicle for 5, 8, or 10 years. The CR-V is also one of the easiest SUVs to service in America. Honda has sold enormous numbers of them, so independent mechanics are familiar with the model and replacement parts are widely available. That gives owners plenty of choices when maintenance or repairs are needed instead of forcing them into expensive dealership service. Long-term durability adds even more value. Older CR-Vs commonly remain on the road with substantial mileage, and well-maintained examples can continue serving their owners for many years. That reduces the pressure to replace the SUV simply because it has gotten older. Strong resale demand is another major advantage. A CR-V with a good maintenance history remains attractive in the used market, helping owners recover more of their original investment when they eventually sell. The Honda CR-V earns number 1 because it doesn't rely on one standout feature. Efficient powertrains, manageable ownership costs, easy service, strong resale value, and proven durability all work together. For buyers who want an SUV that continues to justify its price year after year, the CR-V is one of the safest bets in the segment. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.